Okay, so this is going to be coordinates again. And this time, since you've already done a little bit of coordinates, we're going to build some more complicated things. So we've built this very tall tree, which you should be able to do fairly easy. We've also built this goblet right here, which is, essentially two cuboids in a cube. Then we've built a pyramid. I built another pyramid here, but you don't need to build this. And then this is an hourglass. And if you look at the hourglass, it's actually just two pyramids stuck together, and that's how you make the pyramid. So it shouldn't be too difficult, and I think you guys should be able to do this fairly easy. And with your planning sheet, I've made the planning sheet so that you can plan your builds. Now, obviously, a piece of paper is a 2D object; it's not 3D, right? So it's very hard to build out a 3D structure on a 2D piece of paper. So using a grid system, you can plan out going forwards and you can plan out going left and right and back, but you cannot plan upwards, right? So that's where you'll need to think about how to do that. But that's the only thing you'll need to consider. Everything else, if you just follow the instructions, you should be able to do it. Now, here is the completed code. This is everything you need for the code. I don't want you to write this down. That's not what I want you to do. I don't want you to copy. Copying is not going to help you learn anything, which is why I don't want you to copy. This is just here so that I can type in the commands quite easily, right? And we can build these again from scratch. Super easy, okay? So let's actually take a look at the tree. And I'm going to write a tree here. We'll do tree. Let's call it tree video, just so that I know it's the tree that I made for the video, okay? We'll start step by step. So we can plan it like so. I'm going to plan it using Minecraft, but you can plan it using your you can plan it using the grid you have. So a tree is essentially like this, right? It should say structure like this, and then that's it. That's the first thing you need for a tree. Trunk. The second thing you need, the second part, is going to be something that goes and spans like this, right? This is going to be the leafy part, like so. So we know that it goes forward this many blocks and this many blocks. So all we need to do now is decide how many blocks it goes upwards by, right? And the important thing is that we start where we finish. So I'll show you what I mean by that. If you look at my tree right here, you can see that it starts two ahead of me, two to the right of me. It starts two ahead of me and finishes two ahead of me. It starts two to the right of me and finishes two to the right of me. And it starts from the ground and it goes up by 6. So if I get rid of this here and I type in tree, let's see what happens. Okay, wonderful. Right, we have this right. It goes up by 6. So now I need to make sure that whatever I put on here starts from at least 6 or 7, right? 7 will be on top of it. 6 will start exactly where it ends. So you can see that's why I put 7 in this column right here. That's how that works, right? So if I go here, type in tree, you can see that the tree is completed, right? And instead of using 2 and 2, I use 1 and 3 for the leafy head. 1, 3, 1, 3. Perfect. Now a goblet. A goblet is really easy too. A goblet is essentially something like this, right? It goes like this, like so. And then the second part is going to be a stem that goes up. And then the third part is going to be a cube that occupies this space. The same as the sort of platform that we built right here, right? But apart from this time, this just goes up by, maybe that much. Not too big. Like so. That's a goblet, right? Now, a goblet is usually hollow, so that it can hold water, but we don't need to worry about that. We can just keep it filled in for now. Okay, filling it in. There we go. Okay, perfect. So these are the 3 parts we need for a goblet. Now, all you need to do now is put this stem on top of there, and then put this cube on top of this, right? So how do we do that? Well, we plan out using the grid that I've given you, that you have in front of you, and then I've just made sure to start where I've ended, right? So you can see I've started where I've ended. And 0, 1, 1, 6, 7, 12. So you can either start on the same number or go to the number that's 1 above the previous number. So I've done 0, ends at 1, starts at 1, ends at 6. Instead of starting at 6 here, I've started at 7. Perfect. So that's fairly easy, I think. I think you guys should be able to understand that without too much issues. If I type in goblet now, you can see it makes a goblet, right? Perfect. Really good. And if you really want to, you can figure out how to make a hollow. There are ways to do it, but you don't really need to focus on that too much for now. Okay, good. The next thing is the pyramid, which is over here. Right, this is the pyramid we built. Very good. Okay. So if I want to build a pyramid, which is right here, I need to make sure to use pieces that are not going to collapse in on themselves, right? Matter of fact, I think I got this in the reverse order. So this should be hourglass. There we go. And this should be pyramid. So, pyramid. Pyramid. There we go. Wonderful. Perfect. Okay. So now if I type in pyramid, let's see what happens. Pyramid. Okay, good. So all you need to do is shrink each layer as they go up by 1. So you can see each time I go up by 1, actually that's not from the bottom, so I did this from sort of backwards. So it starts 1 ahead of me, ends 9 ahead of me. It starts 1 to the right of me, ends 9 right of me. It starts from the ground, goes up by 1. And then as I go up in layer, you can see that the other numbers get bigger and smaller, meaning the difference between them gets smaller, meaning the actual shape becomes smaller over time. Wonderful. If you're confused, I really encourage you to just change one coordinate. You don't need to change everything at one time. I would rather you get only the tree done and really understand what's happening rather than try and build this really fancy thing and yeah, nothing ends up happening, right? Or you don't understand. And that goes for both of you. I'm talking to both of you, Leia and Xian. Xian especially, because sometimes you like to do the really, really interesting stuff, but you often forget the basics, which then leads to you getting frustrated, right? So I don't want you to get frustrated. Leia, you too, I also don't want you to get frustrated. So make sure you please plan out your work, start step by step, use the resources given to you, and this should be a fairly easy lesson because we've already done this a few times, but this is just putting everything into practice so that you can properly code using Minecraft. And let me just check something. Is this? Yeah, this goblet is very strange, right? Can you see what's wrong with this goblet? It goes further this way than it goes that side. But that's an easy fix, actually. We can fix it right now if you wanted to. Let's have a look and see what the mistake is. Okay. 0 to 5, 0 to 5. Okay, I see why. So this should be 6, actually. There we go. If I type in goblet now, is that fixed? Yes, that looks much better, right? That is symmetrical on all sides. There we go. Okay, good. And if you do follow the code and the worksheet, you'll be able to do what I just did, which is just think about what's wrong and then correct it. Super easily, right? So that's what we're doing this week. I'll see you guys on Saturday. Have a wonderful week. Goodbye.